All right, let's get into it. There's a new AI model from OpenAI that has developers, creatives, and scientists absolutely buzzing. It's called GPT-5, but here's the thing. People with early access are saying it's not just another upgrade. It feels like something completely different. So what is going on here?
I mean, that's a pretty huge claim to kick things off with, right? The age of oracles. But you know what? It really gets to the heart of what people are feeling. This isn't just about a smarter chatbot. It feels like the whole game of how we interact with computers is changing.
So that's the million-dollar question. What exactly is it about GPT-5 that's creating this new vibe? It's clearly not just a checklist of new features. It's something about the whole experience of using it that's just different. To figure that out, let's start with this idea of an age of oracles. From what we're hearing, it really boils down to three big things working together: a massive leap in speed, way better reasoning, and, weirdly enough, something nobody saw coming: taste. Okay, so if you've ever used GPT-4, you know it's smart, but it can feel a little slow, like it's really having to think. But GPT-5 is apparently lightning fast, so fast that it feels like you're having a real back and forth conversation. And when you mix that speed with much deeper, more contextual reasoning and this new innate sense of taste, well, you get a totally different kind of creative partner. What this means is the model basically has its own autopilot. You don't have to fiddle with settings or switch modes. It just knows how much brain power to use for whatever you throw at it. It figures out how hard to think, all on its own. And that killer combo of skills is turning GPT-5 from just a tool into something more like a real creative collaborator. Let's take a look at what that actually means in practice. The range of stuff people are making almost on a whim is just wild. We're talking about everything from a camera app that lets you draw on the air with your finger to a full-on primordial soap opera where the AI actually gets character motivations. It can even generate an image of a pelican on a bike, and this is the important part, it gets the details right, like its little feet are actually on the pedals. And this quote nails one of the most unexpected new traits. It just has good taste. Developers are saying that it doesn't really have opinions, except it has an opinion about making your website look nice. It's like having an engineer who also happens to have a really good eye for design built right in. Okay, so this isn't just about making fun games or pretty websites. This new power is being put to work on some seriously tough technical and scientific problems. And get this is just incredible. A team reported that a task that normally takes a human developer weeks, just getting familiar with a huge, messy code base, took GPT-5 a couple of minutes. The ability to just absorb and make sense of massive systems almost instantly, that is a complete game changer for pros. And it's not just about code. We're seeing this power pop up in scientific research too. Immunologists are using it like a lab partner. It can sift through tons of complex experiment data, suggest what it might mean, and even propose the next experiment to run. We're talking about saving months of work by just pointing researchers in the right direction. You know, this quote from a developer says it all. The whole relationship is shifting. AI is going from a tool that you have to constantly babysit and double-check to a partner that you can actually start to trust with really complex stuff. So what happens when you bring all these powers together in a normal workday? Well, we're seeing GPT-5 actually guide people through a whole project, from the very beginning to the very end. So in one example, someone started with just a messy spreadsheet of customer comments. The AI analyzed all of it, wrote up a formal product requirements document, coded a working prototype you could actually click on, and then, to top it all off, it drafted a summary memo for an executive, complete with charts. It handled the whole workflow. This is pointing to a massive shift in how work gets done. The human's job is becoming more about being the conductor, the orchestrator. You provide the high-level direction, you make the big calls, and the AI handles all the heavy lifting, the data crunching, the coding, the drafting. Okay, so let's zoom out for a second and think about the big picture. What does all this really mean for us and our relationship with computers? Well, it looks like the future of making stuff is about to get a whole lot more fun. This is such a powerful way to put it. Think about it. For decades, we've had to learn the machine's language. We've twisted ourselves into knots trying to think like a computer. And now, finally, the computer is learning to think like us. It's learning our language.
And that right there is what blows the doors open for creativity. That tedious, painful step of translating a great idea in your head into rigid, perfect code, it's starting to just melt away. It's becoming more about just saying what you want to build and letting the AI worry about the syntax.
And right when we're trying to wrap our heads around all this, the developers actually building it are telling us to buckle up. Because as amazing as this all sounds, we are at the very, very beginning. Maybe 1%, maybe a tenth of a percent of where this is all going. So that leaves us with one final thing to chew on. As all that friction between having an idea and actually making it disappears, programming becomes less about compiling and more about orchestrating. So the real question is, what new worlds, what new solutions, what completely crazy ideas can we finally bring to life now?
Thanks for watching The Explainer.